I had a contest with my twin sister. Whoever has the best grades for the semester gets a car from our parents. I had it in the bag until I found out a small secret that my mom and sister were hiding from me. You won't believe it. My mom bribed my teacher so that my sister would get a better score. I know that my mother loves my twin sister more than she loves me. She's very open about it, and even when we were still kids, she has shown preference. But this time, she took it too far, and I'm finding it hard to talk to her, and I do not care what excuses she has. She has no rights to bribe my sister's teacher so that she would get a higher mark than me. I'm a 16-year-old male, and I have a twin sister who's my parents' golden child. She can never do anything wrong in my parents' eyes, and her achievements are valued more than family. My dad tries to be fair, but I know that he loves her more, and she has wrapped around her little finger. She's always been the more social and outgoing of us two, while I'm quieter and prefer my own space. She's more interested in the same stuff as mom, which does make her the favorite. I admit that I have feeling a certain way about the favoritism, and it's clear in the family. And I wish they liked me as much as they did her. I've told her to make them proud, but somehow her joining the cheerleading squad deserved a celebration, and mine being chosen to be the leader of the debate club deserves only a pat on the back. During summer, they encourage me to go to a summer job, while she gets to go on holiday with mom because, quote, she's helping her with work. But I know that they're just shopping most of the time. And every time that I've called them out on their clear favoritism, they've accused me of just being jealous of my sister. They said that they just had different parenting styles for both of us because we were different. My relationship with my sister was not that bad before all the drama, but I'm finding it hard to let go of my anger towards her these days. It all started when both me and my sister Renee wanted a car for Christmas. Most of our friends have cars, and it is just useful to not have to call a parent every single time that we need to be picked up. Mom and Dad suggested that they would get us a car to share, but we did not want that, for obvious reasons like our schedule being complete opposites. So, Mom and Dad said that we would have to deal with that. Whoever got the best marks at the end of the year would be bought a car. I really wanted the car, because there were so many extracurricular activities I could not always participate in, because I have to share a ride with her, and neither of my parents want me to catch a ride with someone else. They're very paranoid, and I would get kidnapped or something. I could see that my sister really wanted the car as well. When my parents said that we had to do the best we could in our academics, I knew I had it in the bag. It was almost like it was too easy. My sister could have beat me if she studied hard enough. She is by no means dumb. But I have better motivation when it comes to studies than her. I felt that it was fair and immediately agreed, but my sister felt it was unfair. For the first time, my dad stood up against her and said that she had to improve her grades, because soon we had to apply for college, so this was a perfect deal. Even though I knew I already had this in the bag, I still made sure I did not underestimate her. When she puts her mind to something, she can do anything. I think I also forgot to mention that we're in the same class and people are always comparing us, which is super annoying. At least we're not identical twins, because I feel that would have made things 10 times more unbearable. Our school is pretty small as well, so some teachers give us more than one subject, which is the case of our homeroom teacher, which means that I'm stuck with her most of our classes. It was a few months till Christmas, so I started working as hard as I could on my studies. I studied every minute of every day like I was a crazy person, when I was not out doing extracurricular activities. My sister, on the other hand, never had a book anywhere near her, even though she would tell me that she was studying with a tutor. Yet, somehow, I always saw her posting pictures out with friends during the weekend. I did everything that I could and even asked for help with my harder subjects from kids who were way smarter. She kept on going out on weeknights when she was supposed to be studying, yet would tell me and mom and dad that she was working her hardest. At the end of the year, after we had gotten our results, the moment of truth had come. I already knew the kind of car that I wanted. After all, I've been working hard all year for that moment. My grandparents actually drive over from their home because they were excited to witness the healthy competition between my sister and me. We opened my report first, which was pretty good, the best report I had the whole year. My average was an A-, and I was so proud of myself. I even started telling her that she could not top it off. My grandma scolded me and told me not to have such a big head like that, and I realized I was being mean to her. So I apologized and said that I would drive her in the car when I got it. My mom told me not to count the chickens before they hatched. But not once had I seen my sister study. So I think it's safe for me to assume that she was going not to get the car. But then, when she opened her report, my stomach sank because she had an A+. Let me just say, they say pigs cannot fly. I remember that I laughed because I thought it was a prank report. I took the report and saw it for myself. It was signed by my teacher, and indeed, my sister has gotten better grades than me for the first time in a long time. I was feeling a lot of things when I saw that, and I could not even be in the same room as them. I was so disappointed and shocked because every time I was studying, she was out with friends. No one checked up on me, which I did not find surprising. I was so angry that I wanted to punch a wall because those results had to be fake. My grandpa asked me to come downstairs and congratulate my sister, but I refused because my anger would not allow me. I did not come out of my room or talk to anyone for the rest of the day. What I did do, which I do not think anyone's allowed to do, but I did it anyways. I emailed my teacher asking her if there was a mistake on the report, and if they've accidentally given me her initials are the same. So that was the biggest reason I got that made sense as to why my lazy sister had gotten more than me. I gave my whole family the silent treatment for a week. My mom told me to grow up because not everything was about me. And my sister won fair and square. But something was fishy in the air. I was sure she cheated on her test, and I told my parents that. My dad was nicer to me and told me just to let it go. I would also get a car on our birthday. I should just be happy for my sister for once. As for her, she was bragging all day long to me about she was working hard, but I chose not to see it because I thought she was dumb. I called my grandparents and asked them to take me for the rest of the holiday before I commit a crime. I know she's supposed to be my twin and twins have bonds, but the only thing I feel is anger towards her. Especially now that I know the whole thing was a sham, planned by her and Mom. When they went to pick up her car, it was like I could see her everywhere. She was bragging all over the place and everywhere I looked. She was jiggling those keys. I started to dream about it and thought I was going crazy. Anyways, I had zero proof that she cheated on any test, so I did decide to let it go. Dad promised they would also get me a car soon. I just had to tough it out for a few months, which I did do for the next few days. Even though I had to be nice to her, she could drive me places. One afternoon, I was home alone. My mom's gone out and my dad was at work, and I did not know where my sister was. My room is right across from my parents' room, so I heard a phone that was ringing in their room. When I went to check it, I saw she left her phone and it's been ringing for a long time. I checked who was calling her, but when I was checking the call log, I saw there was a very recent call to my teacher. I wondered what that was about, thinking my sister was in trouble. I decided to check and see if there were text messages. I should not have gone through my mom's phone, but I think it was just luck that she's one of those people who do not know what passwords are. Anyways, the texts were suspicious as hell, because my teacher was bothering her because she was, quote, late paying. And I knew for sure it was not our fees. I checked the rest of the history and found out something that I should have known from the get-go. My mom asked to meet with my teacher and a little after we made the bet. Then, after that, the teacher said that, quote, the work was done, and she's finished dealing the reports. It did not take long for me to put two and two together, that my mom paid the teacher to get my sister better grades than I. I cannot lie, I feel bad that mom would even let me have one good thing. She should just have bought my sister the car silently instead of playing with my emotions. There's so many incidents that have left me hurt because my mother prefers my sister in the past, which I won't even bring up. To be honest, it made me wish that they were not my parents, and I had parents that actually liked me. I screenshotted everything and sent it to my phone. I did the next few things because of anger, and I think I had the right to do it after she betrayed me like that. I went to my teacher after class with the text messages. I told her that I knew she took payments from my mom to give my sister better grades than me. My teacher told me I was crazy and had no proof. I giggled because I pulled out the screenshots and threatened to send them to everyone at the school. I did not care how this is going to affect anyone. If mom wanted to play favorites, then she has to pay the consequences. It's always Renee this, Renee that, as if she's the sun itself, and I was sick of it. My teacher confessed that she made a deal for my mom to pay for a few months if she faked my sister's grades. My sister failed and I was the one who got better grades. By the way, my sister knew what my mom has done, which is why she was so chill about schoolwork. I was supposed to get the car as per the deal. I recorded my teacher's confession as proof, then went directly to the principal, because I wanted the two of them to be exposed. At least my father did not have anything to do with it, but his actions or everything blew up were equally disgusting. The school suspended my teacher and laid a charge against my mother, because they have a no cheating or bribing policy. The school did an investigation into our family and even got social services involved because it was protocol. My mom and dad were very mad at me when they found out that it was me who exposed them. And they said I put their jobs and careers at risk. My dad did not care that my mom's done something illegal just so my sister could get what she wanted. What I do not understand, though, is whether I am so unlovable that she would rather commit a crime than disappoint my sister, her favorite child. I got everything taken away from me and was grounded until further notice. My parents started discussing sending me to military school because, quote, I was such a horrible child. I mean, what can I expect? They love her more than me, and I'm just a burden to them. The social services people interviewed us, and my parents put us much pressure to say everything was fine. But I spoke up. I told them the truth, even though I knew what kind of future I had. Just because they're my parents does not mean they're always right. My mother lost the case of bribing a teacher and had to pay a very hefty fine and do community service. She promised that she would make up and work to repay her during the holidays. That was when I knew that she really did not love me. My dad wanted me to apologize for what I've done, or else they were sending me to boarding school. My sister, she had to repeat a year and there was danger of being expelled. But because my mom claimed it was her idea, even though my teacher says they both knew, and she got off with a suspension. She hates me and swears she'll never forgive me, by the way. I feel the same way about her. I stole a phone one night and called my grandparents to tell them what's happening, and tell them to convince my parents not to send me to military school of all places. I would not survive a single day in there. I'm dead serious. My grandparents were shocked when they found out what happened because my parents did not inform them. They told me they would deal with things the next day and I should not worry. My grandparents are kind of rich, by the way. Just thought I should add that in. They're way more rich than my parents. The next thing I know, they were suing my parents for custody of us. That was after they gave my parents a scalding of a lifetime. I swear it was so satisfying to see them looking ashamed in a surprisingly short time. My grandparents got temporary custody of me and my sister, so now we live with them until the next hearing. I pray that I turn 18, so I don't have to live with my parents ever again. I love living with grandparents even though I'm still stuck with the golden child, who is having a hard time not being the favorite. They treat us equally and are proud of us no matter what we achieve. They're still in contact with my parents and we have to see them every weekend. On those days, I lie and say I have something for school. So, I do not see my parents because I know they do not want to see me anyways. They just want to see her because they have not changed a tiny bit. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section down below, do you think it was right for OP to expose his teacher, his mother, and his sister? In my opinion, I think they deserve to get caught. But I would love to hear from you guys, so drop your thoughts below and we're going to look at our second story of the day. It's an Am I the A-hole story, and it involves a bridezilla, a bridesmaid, and some spilt wine. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, as I do daily videos, and let's hop right into it. I, 27 female, got married a month ago. My dress was this long, lacy gown that my mom wore at her wedding. My mom passed away about 2 years ago. Because the dress was so important to me, I had a big plan to keep it safe from any damages. I would only wear the dress after the wedding itself, and I would switch to a more casual dress for the reception. When I was wearing the dress, I wouldn't eat or drink anything except water, and I would stay inside at all times. I promise I'm not usually this crazy about cleanliness, but this was my mom's dress and the thought of it being damaged broke my heart. But I also knew I wanted to wear it when I got married to have a piece of her with me. She adored this dress and always dreamed I would wear it. My bridesmaids knew very well about my particularities of the dress. I had a room above the venue where I was getting ready. My dress was hanging in a safe place in that room. On the day of the wedding, I went down to check on something for my wedding, leaving my bridesmaids in the room. Here's what happened as they told it to me. They opened a bottle of Pinot Noir, my favorite, as a celebration. They poured themselves glasses and began to walk around checking out the room. One of my bridesmaids, Anna, 27 female, wanted to get a closer look at my dress. She got really close to it and she started touching the lace. Somehow her hand holding the wine glass slipped, and wine spilled all over the bottom of the dress. When I came upstairs, they told me what happened and I started sobbing. My maid of honor called several professional cleaners, and they said there was no way they could get the dress in before the wedding. They told us ways to save the dress until we could get it to them, so my maid of honor started doing that. After that call, I became extremely angry. I asked Anna what the hell she was doing holding red wine so close to my dress when she knew how careful I was being. She dismissed it and said it wasn't a big deal because I was planning to wear that dress, so it could have gotten damaged that way too. I couldn't believe she just said that. I called her thoughtless and careless and stupid. I told her that she was no longer part of the wedding and that I wanted her to leave. She left, and neither of us have reached out to one another since. I got married in the dress I planned to wear for the reception, and I was heartbroken not to be wearing my mom's dress. After the wedding, my bridesmaids joked that I was a bridezilla for kicking Anna out after she made an honest mistake. I don't think I'm the a-hole or a bridezilla, because Anna's reaction was so horrible and insincere. But I wanted to get this story off my chest and ask some people who might be more impartial. Am I the a-hole? I don't necessarily think this was a bridezilla move, and let me explain why. I think if the bridesmaid Anna would have apologized profusely and realized how important this dress was to OP would not have kicked her out. Yeah, she probably would have been sad and disappointed still, but the way that Anna just blew it off really proves she didn't really care. So let me know what you guys think of that in the comment section down below. There's still one more story left in today's video. It's a would I be the a-hole story that goes something like this. Would I be the a-hole for not inviting my sister to my wedding, as she's joked about ruining it plenty times before? Here we go. Final story of the day. 3 years ago, my ex-boyfriend proposed to me at my sister's wedding, in front of everyone, while giving what was meant to be the best man speech. He was friends with the groom. It was not approved by anyone, especially not me or my sister. I said no, in front of everyone. He stormed out. This definitely distracted from event, so I left shortly after, apologizing profusely. It's been a few years since then. My sister has said she's over it, but she really isn't because she brings it up every time we see each other. And she's made it clear that she still holds a grudge. We were really close before this, as I was her maid of honor. But after that, she sort of pulled away from me. I'm now engaged, not to the proposal guy, to another fella. We're planning the wedding for early 2022. And my sister has been, quote, joking about payback for years now. That when I get married, she's going to do something to, quote, ruin the wedding. I don't know what, but I have my theories. The frontrunner being announcing a pregnancy or some other milestone during the reception. We've had a conversation recently about a month ago where she said something like that. And I said, quote, I know my ex was a douche, but please remember that I did not want him to do that, and please don't pull a stunt at my wedding. Her response has usually been something like, quote, wow, yeah, I bet someone announcing a major milestone at your wedding would really ruin your event. Though, you probably wouldn't understand that unless it happens to you. Or words to that effect. I've apologized multiple times, but it's been 3 years and she's still holding the grudge. I was talking with my mom earlier and she asked if I'd start planning yet. I said no, and mom says that I should get my sister to help. And I just sort of said I'm not even sure about inviting her. It just kind of slipped out, to be honest. In the rest of the conversation, I admitted, after mom pressed me, that I was unsure about inviting her because of these jokes she's made over the years. Because if 3, nearly 4 years later, she's still making these quote jokes, then they're probably not jokes anymore. And inviting her might not be a good idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those brides that expects everyone to just pour their lives on hold for my wedding. But I feel like she basically said that she's planning to duck up my wedding. Mom, however, thinks I'm being unfair. That my sister is allowed to have feelings about her wedding day and about mine. Because my ex's actions did affect her day, and said that my sister's most likely only joking. And I shouldn't take what she says seriously. And definitely should not leave her off the guest list of my wedding because of the jokes. She's also saying that if my sister's not invited, then she, as in my mom, won't go either. In solidarity, and called me a bridezilla. Would I be the a-hole for not inviting my sister? So, my opinion's not the a-hole, but that's not important because I found a hilarious comment and I was like, oh man, that's a good way to actually get revenge if the sister wanted revenge so badly. Here goes the comment. Not the a-hole. If your sister wants to ruin a wedding, she should show up uninvited to your ex's wedding, if he ever gets married, and ruin his wedding. Not yours, because he's the person who wronged her. You are both victims of his behavior, and I'm so sorry that she can't see that and is transferring the blame onto the wrong person. Guys, I honestly didn't look at it like that, but I think that's spot on. Drop your opinions on this one and let me know. What would you do if your sister was planning this type of revenge for something you didn't even do in the first place? I would like to hear your opinions on that. As always, I read every single comment. That's all the stories I have for you today. Remember, these stories get updated a lot, and I'm always finding new content and new updates from the posters. So if you want to see the stories that you enjoy and the updates, you have to subscribe so you never miss them. Okay guys, have a wonderful night, and as always, I hope to see you tomorrow.